This is a special edition of Director's Talk. A few weeks ago, I did a live stream with my buddy Kyle over on his channel, and the discussion was about most anticipated films of 2025. Man, we had a great discussion, and this man has an unbelievable community that he associates with. The chat room was packed, and we both had some horror films to talk about as far as most anticipated films, and we forgot a few. So the chat reminded us of some. I thought it was a great conversation, but for some reason, we got on the subject of Halloween, how we miss it, how they killed off Michael Myers, he's gone. I'm like, man, what are they gonna do? You know, reboots, reimaginings. I'm a little tired of that. Well, there's a gentleman in the chat named Byron Weaver, and he's a big fan of the show. It's the first time we ever met as far as any time, right? So he followed me on YouTube and he befriended me on Instagram this past weekend. And we chatted in the DMs for an hour plus. And he's a big Halloween fan. I'm like, hey man, so am I. He goes, hey, I wrote a treatment. I'm like, what? This gentleman wrote a treatment for Halloween that blew my mind, right? I'm like, how can you fix this? This messed up. Timelines are all off. They got rid of half the movies. Well, he wrote a treatment that takes place after Halloween ends, which is really, really smart. And continues on in chronological order. I'm like, well, yo, he sent me all the treatments via voice messages and also text messages through Instagram. I was reading through everything, and he said, man, you have permission to talk about this on your YouTube channel. I'm like, yo, bro, that's lovely. That's deep. That's love. Matter of fact, man, why don't you join me? We can do it together. He goes, well, I don't have a StreamYard and stuff. I'm like, oh, don't worry about it, man. We'll figure out a way to do it. I said, I just read verbatim what you sent me, do a voiceover of the synopsis and the storyline. We'll do that. This guy wrote a lot, and he even wrote a treatment for a trailer. He has an all-star cast that he put together of famous actors and actresses in Hollywood. I'm like, yo, you did your homework. I'm not going to spoil everything for you. All that stuff I'm going to leave out. The trailer, synopsis I'm going to leave out, and also all the people from Hollywood that he picked out. Great cast. What I'm going to do, I'm going to read you the synopsis that he wrote and the treatment of the basic storyline of how this new Hollywood movie goes, right? I mean, Halloween Reborn. That is a dope title. I mean, the title pulled me in. Then I was reading through all the treatment. I'm like, yo, you got something here. So without further ado, let me read you the synopsis and the treatment for Halloween Reborn. Here's the synopsis for Halloween Reborn. It picks up right up after the events of Halloween ends. It switches back and forth between Allyson and the killer dealing with a split personality. It would bounce back and forth from Allyson's POV, then it would switch to the killer's POV depending on the situation or specific scene, and it would take place in Russellville, Illinois. Laurie Strode would pass away from natural causes, but Allyson would be on trial for the murder of Laurie Strode. It also delves into the psyche, shadows, blending personal anguish with a critique of social decay. It's a visceral exploration of inner demons and external chaos, where each scene serves as a haunting narrative chapter, drawing viewers into a world of intense emotion and raw confrontation. The first part of the story would take place on the eve of Samhain, and it would focus on the overall holiday of Halloween and somewhat focusing on Michael Myers, aka The Shape. The story would flash forward to October 30th, 2018. It would explain what happened to Allyson, and then the story shifts
4 years later, on November 11th, 2022, once all the mayhem that took place on Halloween of that year, Allyson leaves Haddonfield, Illinois to start fresh. She learns some tragic news that changes her life going forward. Smith Groves has an unexpected guest, and it doesn't end well. The more Allyson starts to have more nightmares, and the more she starts to hallucinate, more tragic things happen in the town of Russellville. Allyson, Illinois, would be on the news for being reported missing and do not approach because of how dangerous she's become. After she escapes from Smith Groves Sanitarium, just when things couldn't get any worse, they do. She would be on trial for the murder of Laurie Strode. Towards the end of the film, she visits rehab to seek help from a therapist, and we will see a change in Allyson's behavior for a while, but she gets tempted to do one more crime after being her normal self. The crime that she was tempted to do turns out to be more serious than she thought. The end of the film, Allyson leaves an interrogation room to go back to her new house, where she puts on a familiar mask, then leaves the house, ending her rampage in Russellville, Illinois.
Yo, was that dope or what? My man got something special here, because every Halloween just doesn't feel right without Michael Myers around. We got a new movie coming out. I know they kind of wore it into the ground. They brought it back to life only to kill it again. But, this gives me hope. You never know, man. With YouTube and fan-made films, anything is possible, right? So I hope you dug it as much as I dug it. It breathes life back into Halloween, so we'll see what happens. Until next time, be sure to like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends, and more importantly, leave your comments down low. And I'm out. Peace. You know the routine. Fade to black.